thought that I could be a Superman. I always saw you as my Lois Lane. It's a shame to say that I'm not made of steel though, and I'm the one that is in need of saving. I just could never say it to your face. Don't wanna stay and watch your heart break. That's why I left and you can't find a trace. Can't give you love from this empty place. So if you feel like I'm pushing away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Patterson Recordings. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We are here with a very special guest, TK Morrison. What's up, man?
What's going on?
How are you? It's so good to have you.
Ah, man, it's good to be here.
So we've never met.
Yeah.
And I kind of always ask everybody, especially people that we don't know that well, to kind of introduce yourself, tell us what you do in music, because just with the focus of the show. So give people insight to who you are, man.
Yeah, I'm TK Morrison. I am a songwriter, singer, producer. I've been doing that for about roughly 10 years now, and just really venturing into being an independent artist. And so
yeah. I watched a video on your page, and you were talking about proximity.
Yeah,
with being an independent artist. I thought it was a good nugget. Will you share that for people who maybe didn't see it?
Man, just this idea that if you're like an independent artist and you're, working, trying to do all of these things, the challenge is like you do a bunch of stuff alone. Like,
yeah,
there's no budget for a team and all of this stuff. You're kind of saving your little pennies.
You're making it all happen.
You're making it happen. But there are people specifically that were in my area, in my city, and in Charlotte that were doing the same thing, pursuing the same thing that I was, that may have been on a level that was kind of up from me. And so I was just like, yo, let me put myself in proximity so that I can learn, that I can add value to them, so that they can inevitably add value to me. And just like, yo, with anything that you're doing, like, yo, just try to get in proximity with people that are doing the same thing.
Yeah. And for opportunities, like we were talking a little bit earlier, and one of the ways that I learned was proximity. It wasn't even with people, it was just with the right tools. Right. Like if I had the opportunity to post mix live services and there was nobody there showing me how to do it, but it was just kind of a time and space set aside for me to just learn, and that was even really good. Proximity with one thing that's cool in today's world with producing specifically is just with YouTube. I mean,
oh my God.
I mean, you kind of have the ability to gain, I know it's not exactly proximity, but you get what I mean, like insight into things that you really never would.
I think that's proximity too, because it's proximity to information.
Yeah.
Like you just, my father is like a YouTube aficionado.
YouTube
like
University.
Everything you want to know, it's on YouTube.
How to fix your car.
Yep. Yeah. How to balance a checkbook. All of that is on YouTube. I'm kind of that way with TikTok.
Yeah.
But no, man, there's so many times where I've been trying to figure out like tools, like plugins, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll just go like take that deep dive.
My favorite thing on YouTube is watching other producers, because it's sort of this opportunity to like go in. We were talking with Melody. We showed you a little clip of hers. She's so good, right? We were talking with her about a Beyonce song, and she was talking about a run that she was trying to learn, and I was telling her like one of the things that I had kind of noticed in her was there's a guy at Full Sail who did a seminar on one of Beyonce's songs.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's like such a cool thing to sit there, and it's like, it was like you're sitting right there with him. He was basically like, "This is what I did."
He was like in the session.
I ran her vocal through a guitar amp, so the run kind of has this like grit to it, and you're getting to learn all these different kind of tricks from pretty much whoever who is willing to, and a lot of people are now.
Yeah,
which is cool. Yeah. What's a YouTube tutorial thing you've had to go through, music-wise anyway?
Music-wise? Yeah.
Learning guitar early on was a big one.
I was going to say probably I haven't done much with vocals on YouTube, but like with, I don't like reading tabs. I'm not good at the visual of doing that. So usually I just Google like how to play Paramore, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And you can watch some guy put his finger on each string, tell you where to go. So probably that.
Yeah, man.
So what was your background in music as far as like, I know you're playing today, right? Like, like she told me you're playing, you don't have an accompanist, which means you play either piano or guitar, but I don't know which one.
No, I play piano. I play like a salt sprinkle of guitar.
Yeah.
But mostly piano, man. Grew up in church.
Yeah.
Grew up in church. Young kid, start off on drums.
Okay, cool.
And then I got into playing keys, funny enough, because I had a crush on this girl.
Okay, yeah.
And she really dug musicians. So I was like, yo, I'm in the clique, like I'm in the winning. Like I play drums. But she didn't choose me. She chose this dude that played piano. And so
had to switch it up.
Yeah. No, I definitely I was like, all right, I got something for you. And now I'm playing keys. So
yeah. Yeah. Do you still play drums at all?
Every now and again, I can definitely tell that I've
necessity.
Yeah, it's definitely a necessity thing. I've diminished in skill.
Yeah, so drums is always something I've wanted to learn, but it's too expensive. It's just too expensive. It's like, yo, man, for the price of like 4 guitars, you can buy a drum kit that's pretty darn nice, and it's like, I think I'll just buy 4 guitars if I had that money. I mean,
No, and then you gotta buy cymbals, you gotta buy accessories, heads, and
it's crazy. The maintenance is more.
Yo, there's so many things you gotta be mindful of, and I'm sure you have to be mindful with guitar, but drums is.
I think with drums, it's more like if you needed, if you think about a drum kit, if you needed like 4 guitars to make up one functioning guitar, I mean, like a drum kit is like 5 drums, all making up the kit, and so. It would be like having to bring 5 with you everywhere, which some guitarists claim is necessity. I don't.
And they're like, yo, it just adds a different vibe to this part of the song.
There is a reason for every guitar. I kind of subscribe to that theory, but to bring them all to the gig is not necessarily true.
You brought a whole case. It's my rack, bro.
If I could, I would, but I can't. So, it's not enough room in the car.
Yo, it's too much.
So with producing. Kind of take us through your journey getting into that, starting off playing young in church. When did you start trying to produce stuff, making like records or songs or just working on your own stuff? What was that?
Yeah, man, I had to be maybe 13.
Yeah.
And back then, Soulja Boy was like everybody's obsession, and the fact that he produced.
Yeah, we're the same age, so I definitely know that.
Yeah, and he produced I think he produced a whole album on Fruity Loops, but it was like a
dude. Now he's just putting out like game consoles and getting copyright flags. Have you seen some of that?
I've seen everything. I'm an avid Soulja Boy follower because I think he's such a personality, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch him do some of the entrepreneur stuff. Like I follow a lot of gaming channels and stuff like that, and they're like, so Soulja Boy put out a console, and I don't think they're gonna be able to keep it up for very long because it has all these other everybody's got a just like music. There's always an ownership.
Yeah, thing. But I think Soulja Boy's aim is to always just be the first.
Yeah,
because he's always like, yo, I was the first rapper to blank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just that's his thing. But now he had produced his whole record off of Fruity Loops Lite or FL Studios Lite, so it wasn't the full software. And so my cousin had the full software, and I think for my birthday I got a Toshiba laptop that year, and so I borrowed the CD. Sorry, Andre, never but I borrowed it from him and put the software on my laptop and started fumbling around with it, produced for some friends who had rap dreams in high school. And was part of a rap group and produced for them.
I saw someone the other day. I don't remember which artist it was, but he was saying that Soulja Boy was one of the most influential artists of our generation. And I was like, it made me think because he put out, a couple songs that did pretty well. And then for as far as overarching and mainstream stuff, less now than then. Right. But I thinking back on it. I mean, it was a huge, it was huge.
Soulja Boy.
And everybody knew that song. Yeah. When it came on.
Yo, Soulja Boy is a game changer. Okay, he definitely had his thumbprint is on our particular generation as far as music.
It felt a little I'm trying to think of another artist that I feel it's similar to in terms of just the length of time because it was shorter than I think some other ones that have come up since then. But it was definitely like a big thing.
Yeah, man.
So you started off getting in production, started trying to make your own records, like 13, couple friends.
Yeah, man.
What's that look like for you now?
Oh God. Like my process of just producing, or just
just what are you up to now? Are you still kind of just putting together your own records? Because I know Distance just came out, or Distant or Distance.
Distance. There's a song on it called Distant.
Yeah, I listened through to it. I liked it, man. I liked it a lot.
I appreciate that, man. Right now, working on some new stuff for myself, as well as working on music with a few friends, kind of in that like headspace to where, when I was writing Distance and producing Distance, like it was very cool for the time and space that I was in. But like, you get to a point as an artist where you're still evolving. And your sound is changing. And so I was like, even listening back to it on the way up here, and I was like, man, I always like, you listen to like, I wouldn't do that now, or I would have made that tweak here. And so
I looking back on ours, I try to think more about one thing that helps me is to play like stuff that's older and then stuff that's newer, and like kind of recognize just growth, you know? But then also for like songs specifically now, looking back for me, I kind of I try to push myself. I'm not that good at it, but I try to push myself to not think about the like the technical sides of it, and more just think about where I was at when I was writing those. Yeah. Or putting it together, and that something special about it.
That sounds like a blessing.
Yeah. It's yeah.
I wish I could, man. I'm such I'm not necessarily a perfectionist, but because I'm always just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want this to be better, or like, because I thought it was the pinnacle of my talent when I made it. I was like, this is the best thing.
Well, in a way, I think at least the hope is like every producer, the release that you're putting out now, like you're putting your all into it. It should be the pinnacle of your talent at that moment. It's just, it sucks that you can't
appreciate it for
every song is going to get better, which means technically every song before is worse.
No, legit, man.
Yeah, it's a tough thing.
Yeah, bro.
I go through that too. When you wrote it, can you kind of give a little bit of the behind the kind of the title, like behind the story of the title a little bit? Like the topic of?
So the kind of the concept of the whole record was just coming into this self-realization that a lot of relationships, specifically romantically, relationships that I was in, that, obviously I'm no longer in, kind of went south because of my like almost kind of like nature to go distant when I feel like things are going wrong. I think that was the way that I handled a lot of, relationships and things that I wasn't comfortable with, and I wouldn't address it. I wouldn't go into it trying to, create conflict, but I would, just create distance. And so,
pull away.
Yeah. And so doing, when I was kind of thinking through the concept of the record and what I wanted to talk about, it was just like, all right, like, I feel like this is a good name, for it. So
it's a cool thing. It's cool in the sense that like to hear you kind of say like almost like I was kind of addressing some things that were within me. I think like a lot of times artists, you are dealing with stuff that you're going through, but sometimes artists looking outward too, like just different stuff. So I like that, man. It's a cool concept.
I appreciate that, man.
Do you have like when you were writing it, was there kind of a process to go about writing it that was kind of your standard at that point in time?
I would essentially think through it. Always kind of start with one song, and I just build off of that. And so when I was thinking through the concept of this one song, the first song ended up becoming like the anchor song for the record, which is Distant. And so I had written that, and then like it kind of gave me the building blocks to like, okay, like I want to talk about, if I make a few more songs and I want to talk about this particular nuance of, relationship and, the hand that I played in like, the demise of a few of them.
Yeah.
And so I wrote Distance, and I was, I produced it first. Just kind of came up with that, needed the vibe, and then I already kind of had a concept, and so I went in and with this record, I tried not to write any of the lyrics down. I tried to like go in the booth and kind of like feel my way through.
That's cool.
And just as kind of like a stretching point,
the challenge.
Yeah. And so once I was able to do that, and then I would like listen to the playback, fine tune. Then it started like the concept of the album or the EP started to kind of come into fruition, and then just that same process: produce, record / write, fine tune. So that's
Did you? So I'm just trying to make sure I understand, because I think it'd be really like, it's cool. So did you write all the instrumentals before you wrote like any of the?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Because I knew just at this stage of the game, I've been producing for kind of long. It like sonically, I always know what I'm trying to emote.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, like I know the concept, so that's already given me context for like how I want to emote this particular record, and so I'm just gonna make music that feels how I feel, and then
that's
record.
Cool. That's kind of a neat thing. I hear that, I'm like, I want to try that. I've never tried that. Like I always. Occasionally, like, but not in the context of a record. Mostly just a one-off song. Like, and I guess it kind of happens that way in the sense that like you come up with a guitar part or like a piano line, and you kind of have that, and then you write the lyric to it. But in terms of sort of like finalizing like 4 or 5 songs worth of instrumentals, and then just kind of start like being like, all right, these are them, and then and that's pretty cool. It's unique.
Man. Yeah, I think it falls into my strength because I started before I've only been writing maybe like 6 years.
Yeah.
Production was something that's always been a part. So it like, because it came first, it was, it's naturally how I think first. So I'm always thinking like, all right, like lyrical content is important, but like if there's not like if it can't ride a nice melody or I can't lay the foundation with the music, then, kind of puts me at a disadvantage.
So from a listening perspective, are you lyrics first or like instrumental first?
Definitely instrumental first.
Yeah, I'm that way as well.
Definitely. I need to feel the vibes.
Man. I feel like that's maybe not as common.
Yeah,
a lot of people really value lyrics and melody,
Yo, and I definitely think that they should.
I think they're king. I just think that some people aren't wired to like.
No, for real.
To view it that way, not king, but you get what I'm saying. Like a lot. I think with music versus lyrics and melody, most of what people really value, especially like a concert or like in the room, and even me in the room, they look at those things first. But there's something about the producer that the feeling within the music alone.
Yeah, man.
There's something there, and I think that's a big that might be a shared trait amongst especially people who produce things.
I think what put me in that mind is very odd.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys, hopefully you've seen it, Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's this scene where camera's just panning through like just these snow-capped mountains and all of this stuff, and you just hear music.
Yeah.
And anything with film scoring, but it's just like that is always what I'm trying to like go after. Just that like there are no lyrics said, there are no lyrics being sung, nothing, but like the music has already created the mood, and like it's giving me information on like how I should feel based on what I'm hearing. So I think that's
it's cool. I like meeting other people that are like that, because I feel like it's farther and fewer between.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's definitely not common.
So tell us about your experience as an independent artist. I know you've shared a little bit about that with proximity and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, man.
What are some of the things you've had to kind of take on your own? What's that journey been like?
So right now, the biggest challenge has been like managing myself, and there are like certain spaces that I want to get into that just are a little harder starting out as an independent artist without a team
or whatever.
Yeah. I think luckily the thing that's been helping me most is leveraging like being a producer and being a songwriter, because I do it for other artists, and there've been some artists that that are kind of notable that I've been able to work with, and so that definitely kind of helps my case. But for the most part, it's just like, it's that kind of that gritty thing of just grinding everything out yourself until you can, essentially get the people on your team that you need and, make it do what it do.
Yeah, I've been reading the book, something about music business, and
by James Patterson or something like that.
I don't know. It's sitting right there. I'd have to go look on the binding, but a lot of it was like, if you find somebody that's willing to help you, give them as much money as you can give them, basically. That's like the short of it. I'm like, note to self.
Save money, find help, give it.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anybody that you got to work with that you like? Just, you said notable. Is there anybody that like has been like a really fun project you've got to be a part of?
Oh man, my big bro KJ Scriven.
Yeah,
that's definitely been one.
What'd you get to do with him?
Gotten to write with him for some stuff. I want to give more information, but I can't.
No, yeah, you're good. I was just curious because like we were showing you the one we just got to finish up with Melody. It's like, dude, certain people get to work with. It's such a joy to do it, man.
Nah, she's fire. Shout out to you. If you're watching this, because you're awesome.
So getting to work with KJ.
Getting to work with KJ. I got to work with. There is a guy that he's a jazz artist. His name is Marcus Anderson, and phenomenal guys. Play behind Prince, gone on tour with CeeLo Green, and so he was working on his own like independent record, and I think this may have been like his second or third one, and has a cool relationship with Grammy nominated, very like highly decorated R&B artist named Kenny Lattimore.
Okay.
And so I got to write for that project, and Kenny Lattimore sang on that. So that was really cool. And man, just those are probably some of the most fun.
It's fun. It's cool. Yeah, we probably one of my favorites that we've gotten to do was actually with Relevant. I don't know if you've met Chelsea Locklear at all.
I haven't.
Okay, so she is the worship director at Relevant, which obviously I'm on staff with her. But for the first record, we ended up getting to co-write it together, which was such a cool thing.
Yeah, man.
And as the team sort of evolved and branched out, like now we have all these. I call them, they're younger than us, but not by much. So they're younger, and like getting to kind of work with all them, and that's just been such a cool thing. They're all insanely good. It's tough. Man. Were vocals a strong suit for you starting out? They were not for me.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. So of course, growing up in church, like, what I'm saying, being a young dude, I naturally gravitated towards drums, but my mom was doing like the like worship leading and stuff. And so just being around that, and the older I got, I, started joining like, different worship bands and then, going to college. I think definitely going to school like really strengthened like that kind of muscle, because I was just like throwing on gigs. Sing background for this, sing for this, lead this.
I was rough when I started, like really rough, but man, the Lord blessed it, I guess, because I mean he did. Otherwise, I'd still be the worst. But it was like for years, it was just really, really tough. And then I married this one, and she's insane. And I was like, okay. And she was singing harmony like to anything, like almost no melody.
To the point where it was annoying. He'd be like, stop. I'm like,
I just couldn't even.
He's like, I'm trying to listen to the actual song. And I was
well,
like,
no,
sorry.
like even if she was singing harmony, I couldn't stay on key in melody.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even, right? And so like that was like the first challenge. And then the more people I've gotten to do records with, and they've like either needed a harmony part or needed this or needed that, like that's been my opportunity, if you will, to like learn and keep getting better and better. As you,
hey man, I want to give a kudo to you. That's how you give props to your wife, bro. That's how you do it, man.
Thank you.
Well, we moved a lot. My dad's pastor, and every single move, there's nothing to do in a moving truck except listen to like albums and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And there was one trip where our CD case, our big CD case with all the sleeves, got packed. And so we had Best Hits Stevie Wonder and the Eagle, like a collection of the Eagles or whatever, those 2 CDs, the whole 90-hour trip or whatever the heck it was. And so by the end of that trip, we were doing like 5-part harmony in the car, all of us, to those CDs because we listened to them so often.
Was your dad just like giving you each a part and saying,
yeah,
go for it?
Yeah,
you
like
sing this, you do this.
We'd get to like 7 Bridges Road by the Eagles. I don't know if you've heard that, but it's like a 5-part harmony song anyway. And so yeah, we like
I don't think I've heard the actual song. I think I've heard like a cover on like an American Idol or something, or The Voice or somewhere. Yeah.
But yeah, that was just where we learned how to do that because there's nothing else to do.
Mine was with her, and then as like when we were young, so we got married 18, and my first job then, like while we were engaged, and then right when we got married, was working 3rd shift at Walmart.
Yeah.
And they play the same songs every night. I don't know if you've ever gone into Walmart repeatedly, but they don't change ever.
It's like
no matter how much you ask, they don't switch it. And so she was like kind of talking me through a couple like notes on certain songs that might be okay to try. A lot of City and Color songs. But then I would go in and with the Walmart CD, same songs every night, all night. And I just started trying with those. And eventually by the end of the year, like I was like, all right, I know how to sing harmony to these like 6 songs that are on repeat all the time. And that was my first like introduction into it.
Oh man, that's super dope.
It was unique, I guess. It's just like
but you never know where you're gonna find like you're gonna kind of get that lesson and learn
opportunities
those things,
to learn. Yeah. So we have a branded question for the podcast. If you've watched it, you've probably heard it. We ask every guest, what does music mean to you?
What does music mean to me? Connection. Music means connection to me in so many different facets, but I think as individuals, everybody's going through so many different things. Everybody has different perspective and outlook on life. But music has the ability to connect you to something individually, connect you to other people, different places, events, things, certain emotions. I still remember the first song that I played when I experienced like my first breakup. There's certain songs that I remember that I would listen to with significant others or friends, or like even songs that me and my mom or my dad loved to listen to.
Yeah.
And just how they made me feel, like even when I first heard them. And so I think that, music to me it just means connection. Yeah.
You got like a top 5 road trip songs?
Maybe
Maybe not 5. That sounds like too. I feel like I don't.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. We'll go top 2.
Top 2 road trip songs. Okay. For anybody who's watching this, please don't judge me. Okay.
You're all right.
But Beyonce has a song called "Grown Woman," and the production on that joint is fire.
Yeah.
So probably that, and probably "Come Together" by the Beatles. Like I could listen to those 2 songs back to back, whole ride.
My dad used to. So my dad's kind of a funny character, man. He like walks around. He walks around, and if he's not thinking about anything, he sings the national anthem.
Wait,
like straight up, right? And
that's hilarious.
He literally will just walk around singing it, and so like that's one. It's kind of funny, but like I mean, it's like I'm not lying. Like it really sticks in my head. Like when my dad used to sing that, and then when we were going to bed, he would sing Silent Night. No matter what time of year it was, it didn't matter if it was Christmas or not, right? Like,
I feel like, I think this is a phenomenon that should stop. That Christmas music is only exclusive to the Christmas
you two
time.
are in good company.
I will listen to Christmas music year round. Yeah, it's so good.
We're almost there. We're a couple months out.
Oh, I can smell it in the air.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Half the songs are about like snow and all that. We don't get that here anyway.
We don't.
So
we do more than
why does it matter?
I'm from San Jose, California originally, so there was no snow there.
No.
Yeah.
We get like one snow a year, and usually it's in like March or something crazy, and that's it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna sing Christmas music whenever I want.
This is a really off topic for a mid September podcast, but what's your favorite Christmas like tradition?
Favorite Christmas tradition. I don't know if I have a favorite Christmas tradition. I have like a ritual, like something I do every year.
Okay.
I'll maybe it's probably a tradition then. I drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Okay.
And I sing like Last Christmas every day at the top of my lungs.
I think those are the kinds of things that, well, at least like in my mind, like we don't have kids yet, but my hope is that like things that I do kind of regularly, like one of the things that I do every Christmas, I'm really big on going and getting a real tree. Mm-hmm. I'm like, gotta do it. And I hope it becomes a tradition. You know what I mean? Like in the future, it's not a tradition when it's just you and I doing what we do every year, but when family and like future, hopefully all that becomes things. Another one I always start learning, I kind of have used it as a time where I kind of dive into piano a little bit more, and I kind of tend to go learn at least one or two songs on piano that I maybe don't know that are Christmas tunes, just because it's kind of fun. I put the tree by the piano, and then I sit there and I try to pick one apart.
That's pretty dope, man. Oh, man.
I like Candy Day.
You have Christmas traditions.
Oh yeah, so his family every year, a little bit before, they'll do like candy making day or whatever. And they'll usually make like fudge, but it's just my excuse every year to make all like the kiddie treats that like I shouldn't eat. Like, so I make like Rice Krispie dumb stuff. Like they make like complicated like chocolate fudge caramel stuff, and I'm just I want Rice Krispies.
Treats.
I'm there for one purpose, which is to eat. That's why
I
help a little and then I eat.
That's my excuse for every holiday. I just really came here to eat.
It's so off topic. I love it. So where we landed, it's okay. It's okay. Talk to us about some of like the biggest hurdles you've had in kind of as an artist or producer or whatever.
Biggest hurdles? That's easy. Me.
Ooh, I like that answer.
Me. I've been my biggest hurdle for a long time. Probably up until recently, maybe the last couple of months, that I've just really been like, yo, like, move yourself out of the way and like just pursue it with everything you have. Yeah, man. I've my own insecurities, my own like, striving for perfection and in all my music, and of course, I want to give 110% of everything that I'm doing, but sometimes that's caused me like, to just be scared, like, hey, maybe I should just shield my things. I don't know how people will receive it, or maybe I should, not go as hard for myself as an artist because I want to, play it safe. And yeah, man, it's my biggest hurdle has been me. And I think the more that I move myself out of the way, and the more I kind of allow myself to be like, yo, just do it, the more things that I, either need or I need to be in proximity of, they show up. And so, yeah, I've been my biggest hurdle. That's
probably my favorite answer we've ever gotten on the show. That was really, dude, that was incredibly real. Thank you. That is one of those things that's totally true. I know for me in production, that was huge. Like, it's not good enough to show people yet.
Yeah,
nobody will like this, like, and it's all like, maybe at some point it's true when you're like really young and you're starting, but at a certain point it's probably not true anymore. That, like, nobody would like it, really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's a little far-fetched. There's somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think there's even merit in deciding to put it out, even if you think everyone's gonna hate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like getting over that kind of. It's the internet. There's haters. No matter how good your stuff is. Like, we were talking about Beyonce earlier. Beyonce gets hate comments on her videos. You know what I mean? And she's phenomenal. So it's like, I think there's still merit in just deciding to not be afraid of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to hold people back, I think, but I do think you're right, which is that at the end of the day, like, it is at least one of the most important things is just don't hold yourself back kind of thing.
Yeah, man. I think like you always regret not going after something that you truly wanted.
Yeah.
But also in a sense, I think there's just this whole element of like, yo, be gracious enough with yourself to say, you know, I get, even if it's not like entirely how I want it to like to be, I only get better from here.
Yeah.
I only can grow from this experience. Like we were talking about earlier, I was like, you know, I was listening to the record and I was just kind of like, man, it's really good. I really like, I'm excited that I wrote it and produced it and all of this stuff. But, you know, I pick it apart just to give myself kind of like tools to be like, all right, like, you know, I thought this was the pinnacle of my talent when I made it. And it was. Mm-hmm. And, you know, now that I've grown since I put it out, just musically, I've lived a little bit more life.
Yeah.
Like, I evolve. And so, like, just being fearless enough to evolve in front of people, which I think a lot of times, like, as an artist, we want to just, I want to keep my precious baby to myself. But, you know, that's not what we do in our business.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat one of the thoughts going through my mind is like kind of simultaneously both understanding like things aren't going to be perfect every time.
Yep.
But and like both accepting what was your best, like, and being willing to show people like, hey, this is my best effort right now. I know it's not perfect, but then also not accepting the same thing that the next time. Like the next time I'm going to push for more. If I get another opportunity, it's going to be better, you know? And so it's like this, it's weird. It's like both accepting how things are and then also not, you know, and you kind of are trying to do both at the same time of like, if you never are willing to put something out, then you're never going to put anything out. But the great part about it is you can keep pushing and getting better and learn every time.
Yeah, I think that everybody, like, you know, whatever particular thing that you're gifted to do, you have to walk in that balance always. It's just like the next song is the best song.
Yeah.
The you know, the next game is the best game. The next work day is the best work day. It's just like, you know, your next is like it should be your best.
It reminds me of, I know it's a Bible verse, but mercies are new every morning, right?
Yeah,
like that's kind of where I go from a biblical look on that same idea. Anyway,
you know, literally, it should be as new every morning. You've exhausted the newness of the day before. You've lived in that. It was fresh for what it was. But it just doesn't, it may not work. And you can always look back on it and be so thankful. Like, oh man, I had new mercy yesterday. Or, you know, what I made previously in this last season as far as a record was super dope. But now going into
ready to go to bed so I can start tomorrow.
Yeah, man. let's start tomorrow. Let's see what tomorrow holds. Let's see what this new record holds. Let's see what this new opportunity to just kind of give it everything you have every time.
And I think one of the things that like is coming to light in that is just the joy that should be in it, you know?
Yeah.
I hope, and I'm guilty of it, is like not losing that for people, you know?
Oh man.
It's tough to get it, because music is so inherently, this is both what I love and hate about it. Music is inherently, like you're talking about, like something you want to shield. It's your baby. It's something you love, and you can't shut it off. And the world just kind of takes advantage of that because they know, you know? Like, I mean, that's why music business is such a, it doesn't always feel good.
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely it has its little things.
It doesn't always feel good, and it's because people care a lot about it and they can't shut it off. At least I mean, there are some people that don't, but you know, I don't know if those are the people you want to work with.
Very fair. Yeah, for real.
Well, we're running a little low on time, but I kind of wanted to ask you about the song you're performing today.
Yeah.
If you tell us about it, tell us kind of what song it is and then kind of story behind it, if you don't mind.
Oh man. So it's called Distant.
Yeah.
It's a song that I wrote. Literally the first line of it is, first of all, let me apologize. But essentially it's just, you know, an apology for creating distance when I should have just been open to, you know, resolve conflict and let the chips fall where they may. I just wanted to avoid that, you know, just that whole ordeal. And so, yeah, man, Distant, one of my favorite songs off the record. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't remember. So I went through the record and I was listening through, and there's a couple spots. Which track is Distant?
Distant might be 1, 2, 3, 4. This might
is
be
it
4. The
one where towards the end of the song you have that like quieter, like somewhere between spoken word and rap verse, the very end of it?
I think that's D&D, which is Do Not Disturb.
Okay, yeah, dude. I in paging through it, I know that's not the song you're doing, but that was one of my favorite little sections, and it's just this one little moment where you kind of like talking, and it's like such a cool sound, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Awesome.
I appreciate it, bro. I was trying to tap into my inner Andre 3000.
I remember like listening through to it, and I didn't see it coming. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, it's like one of those little parts where it's just like it gets real calm, and it's really good. Really good.
I appreciate that, bro.
You changed your handle too, which messed me up. So I knew your handle, but it changed like within like the last like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like it was not that long ago.
Man, I'm always trying new things with social media, but
so I'm gonna let you shout it out.
Yeah,
I want to get it wrong.
Instagram, which is the predominant platform that I use, it's what's TK doing. So follow me, and you can always figure out what TK's doing.
Spotify is TK.
Spotify's TK Morrison. Yep. Apple Music, TK Morrison.
Go check out his EP, guys. It's great. Such a good listen.
Please.
Really, and even in talking with you, man, I really get the sense that even in your music, like it's your heart on a page. So really cool. Really cool. Great to meet you, man.
Great to meet you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Without any further ado, here's Distant by TK Morrison.
First of all, let me apologize. Don't wanna lie, look you in the eye. Ain't been myself, it seems, for quite some time. Give you enough and hope it gets you by. Think you know it's not the best of me. Stone cold, it got me wrestling. Communicating that I need some space. Can't give you love from this empty place. If you feel like I'm pushing away, it's because I am. And I apologize. Love you too much to lie. And I won't ask you to wait. I'll leave it all to fate. Don't wanna see you cry. Guess I gotta go bye-bye. My regret is foolproof. I wish that I told you what's wrong with my mind. Gotta make some distance, and I'm not sure, but it'll take some time. And I can promise you that everything that we do turn out fine. But I can't go the distance, no strength to finish it this time. Thought that I could be a Superman. I always saw you as my lowest lane. Ashamed to say that I'm not made of steel though, and I'm the one that is in need of saving. I just could never say it to your face. Don't wanna stay and watch your heart break. That's why I left and you can't find a trace. Can't give you love from this empty place. So if you feel like I'm pushing away, it's because I am, and I apologize. I love you too much to lie. And I won't ask you to wait. I'll leave it all to fate. Don't wanna see you cry. Guess I gotta go bye-bye. Ooh, my regret is foolproof. I wish that I told you what's wrong with my mind. Gotta make some distance. and I'm not sure, but it'll take some time. I can promise you that everything that we do will turn out fine. But I can't go the distance, no strength to finish it this time. Me and your daughter got a special thing going on. You say it's puppy love, but we say it's full grown. Hope that we feel this way forever. 'Cause you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Oh.